Good evening to each one of you present today. It is a moment of extreme pleasure to welcome all present here to attend this memorial talk. As all of you know, the Association of Fisheries Graduates is celebrating World Fisheries Day on November 21st as a weekly celebration. As part of this celebration, we are organizing 3 webinars in consecutive 3 days from November 19 today to 21st November. And today's memorial talk was the first one in the lineup. On behalf of association, I offer my regards to invited speakers and the people joining us. I convey my regards to invited speakers of the day, Dr. K. Sobhana Kumar, retired Deputy General Manager, Aquaculture Division, Matsyafed, and Mr. Subradu Ghosh, Fishery Extension Officer, Director of Fisheries, West Bengal. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and coming over our memorial talk. In this program, we are remembering Dr. K. Alikunhi and Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, India's foremost fisheries scientists and pioneers of the Blue Revolution. As the new generation in this field, we see it as our responsibility to remember those who paved the path for us. I wish this memorial talk will refresh their memory and pass on their contribution to next generation and inspire new generation in this field of fisheries. So without any further delay, I would like to start with the events. So now I welcome Mr. Naina TM, Joint Secretary, AFG, to introduce the first session. Welcome, Naina.
Thank you. Good evening, one and all present. This Fisheries Week celebration will be incomplete without remembering Dr. K.H. Alikunhi and Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, who contributed immensely to the development of inland fisheries. Dr. K.H. Alikunhi was born in Arikot, Kerala on 27 May 1918. His contribution toward the fisheries development, production, and management are inevitable. His researches are important head starters for the aquaculture in India. He, along with Hiralal Chaudhuri, achieved the induced breeding in carp. This paved the way for a revolution in the carp production termed as aquaplosion. His achievements include extensive trails showing the superior growth potential of exotic carps in Indian waters. He set up and operated first commercial pinnate shrimp hatchery for tiger shrimp and Indian white shrimp in 1978. He demonstrated the use of hatchery-produced seed for commercial purposes. He served as a research assistant in Zoology Research Laboratory, Madras University, assistant professor in Maharajas College, assistant director in Department of Fisheries, Madras, research officer in Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, and director of Fisheries Education in India. With immense pleasure and honor, let me welcome Dr. Sobhana Kumar, an eminent fisheries scientist and scientific administrator, to talk more about Dr. K.H. Alikunhi. Please, sir. Thank you and have a nice day ahead. Sir, please.
Okay, well, good evening to one and all who are participating in this esteemed online conference. I am Dr. Sobhana Kumar. I had been to the Department of Fisheries in Kerala for nearly about 30 years. And I am indeed privileged to be here to talk about Dr. K.H. Alikunhi sir, because I could work along with him for some time in the department and trained under him to reach to this level. I am always bestowed my praise to the departed soul. See, when I joined for my MSc program at the Central University of Allahabad, And when I entered in the first class on fisheries, my professor, Dr. CBL Srivastava, one of the eminent scientists in the world, and he was talking about the fisheries, and while introducing the candidates in the class, my turn came, and when I stood up and explained to him that I am from Kerala, immediately Professor Srivastava was telling about Dr. Alinkunhi. The first name I heard in the first class was about Alinkunhi, sir. At that time, it was in 1976. See, Dr. Sibil Srivastava sir told about him for a while in the class, and all were attending to the talk. Soon after that, he told me that you are very fortunate to be here, studying fisheries as your course, and you will get a chance to meet Dr. Alinkunhi sometime from now. And he praised a lot about me and Kerala and about Alinkunhi, sir. Immediately after that, what he told is, you have to refer a book written by him, Fish and Fisheries in India, published by ICMR, and that book was costing only 1 rupee at that time. And at present it is out of print, I think, and in certain libraries it is available. And you know, that was the Rigveda of fisheries, aquaculture, especially that of aquaculture during that time and till now. And after completion of my MSc and PhD, I joined the State Fisheries Department. Immediately, we were put into these seed production experiments. And one of the research stations in Kerala, where Dr. Alinkunhi sir was heading the whole state fisheries as his advisor. And one fine morning, when I got the chance to meet Dr. Alinkunhi at his staying place, guest house, where I went and talked and introduced myself as the officer who is in charge of the seed production center. And he immediately told, he advised me to be, what are the precautions to be taken, because as a beginner, I was having so many problems at that time. And moreover, I was not knowing how to produce these seeds. Theoretical knowledge, of course, was there, but practical knowledge were not there. But he advised, and he, after putting his hand on my shoulder, and what he told is that don't fear. You can study very well because you specialized in fish and fisheries from an university and came back and completed your PhD. So you may have a well background about fish and fisheries. So for such people, it won't be a problem to work for seed production stations. Immediately after getting his advice, we went together to the station. See, from the next day onwards, on the same day, he had given a lot of information, especially in the form of a timetable. What are the works to be undertaken from the next day morning from 5 a.m. onwards? See, the punctuality we studied, or we got that capacity to be on time, is from Dr. Alinkunhi. My first experience is that the next day by 5:30 a.m. he came to the station by wearing a white pant, short pant and t-shirt, and he was on the spot at 5:30 a.m. Most of the offices were not there, and first day he advised all those field workers and workers who were to be there that you should be here on time. On time, your punctuality must be here, and I am very particular that you people should be here at the time. See, the next day, the second day went on likewise, but the next day, what happened? He told that all of them must be here at 6 a.m. And many of them were coming by train and from different stations. But since we were staying in the same spot, we reached here before time and started hauling the brooders. And see, being such a gigantic legend, he was helping the field workers in hauling the net in the pond. That was my first experience. See, usually officers, they will be keeping away from that work. But he was hauling with his hand, and that was the first training we got. Immediately, many officers joined and they started hauling. And the other day, next day, again, one field worker came late. Now, what he did is he put his hand on the shoulder and pushed him into the water. Sorry. That was the motive given by him at that time to work how to produce seeds and how to work in a station where punctuality and knowledge is to be given. See, the experiment conducted during that time under him, my first experience, that was one of the records in the history of seed production in Kerala. It was acknowledged by many reports during that time, and I was very fortunate in getting that merit. See, the second experience, I was specializing in prawn breeding, and when we started this prawn seed production works, we were having the skeletal structure of a prawn hatchery in the country for the first time. That was established under Dr. Alikunhi at Alinkunhi. The cheapest technology, which was acknowledged by many foreign scientists from abroad also, it was acknowledged much. Dr. Alinkunhi is finding how to feed the larvae with the locally available food material. It was so simple. We collected many small crustaceans from the sea, and that was squeezed into small microns and fed it to the larvae. You see, the results were tremendous. Only that it was later known as Japanese method and so on. But the first experiment what we did is we will collect these brooders, put them in the pool. Next day morning we will get the spawn. We will be fed the larvae with the locally available small crustaceans, crustacean flesh into the water. See, next day onwards the larvae will start growing, and no other food was given. No phytoplanktons were given, no zooplanktons were given, no prepared feed were given, nothing. Only this crustacean SQs that was given. And on the 10th day or 11th day, we used to get this post larvae one. That was a very simple method. That was the first experience also how to produce the seeds of penates and palimonids. From there, we established many gigantic hatcheries in the state where I was also a part of the work. And we could establish 4 gigantic hatcheries in Kerala with the production capacity of 300 lakhs of seeds per annum. But now it is increased to 600 lakhs per annum. Sorry. See, if I am not mentioning about Dr. Alinkunhi is biodata, it would be. So I feel it is good that I may start with that. Dr. Alinkunhi was born in Azhikode, Kodungalur, Kerala on 27th May 1918. He published more than 200 papers on fisheries development, freshwater and brackish water aquaculture, marine fisheries and marine biology. National Fish Farmers Day is celebrated on 10th July every year in remembrance of scientists Dr. Alikunhi and Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri. His contributions have left a footprint in fisheries education and research. His demise on 26th September 2010 is a great loss to fisheries science and development in India. See, his professional life starts with a degree of BSc Zoology from Madras University, and then in 1941 he obtained his MSc by research from Madras University. Then in 1941-43, He served as a research assistant in Zoological Research Laboratory, Madras University. In 1943 to 45, he served as assistant professor in zoology in Maharajas College, Ernakulam, one of the pioneer colleges in Kerala. 1945 to 1948, he became assistant director again in freshwater research in Department of Fisheries, Madras. In 1948-64, again research officer, Prawn Culture Division in Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, Barrackpur. 64-72, again Director, Central Institute of Fisheries Education, Bombay. Sorry. See, I may add one more point. I was also a student of Central Institute of Fisheries Education, Bombay, where also we were privileged. The Kerala candidates were very much privileged of, because of his name and fame. See, his contributions include to fisheries was recognized by the Food and Agricultural Organization in 1972. He served as Inland Fisheries Development Advisor, Government of Jordan. He was posted as Project Manager, FAO, UNDP, Brackish Water, Shrimp and Milkfish Culture. Research and Training Project, Japara in Indonesia. He was serving as FAO consultant in Sri Lanka and Vietnam. That experience, what he told it was, is very valuable, but due to time constraint, I am not going with that. He served as Fisheries Development Advisor, Government of Kerala, and as Director, Shrimp Hatcheries. In 1969, he was elected a Fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences, Bangalore. Contributions in induced breeding, I should not say anything because I feel each and every one of us is very familiar about his contributions in induced breeding, because when I was working I was studying in CAFE and as a part of it worked at Cuttack Station. You know, when we reached in the Cuttack Station, see, from that place itself will tell about the legend, Dr. Alinkunhi. I may narrate a few of Dr. Alikunhi's career took a turn from being an academician to that of a fisheries scientist after he joined the Department of Fisheries, Madras. He studied the breeding habits of carps and reared the high altitude stocks of Cyprinus Scorpio in the plains of Madras. This marked as a potential breakthrough in freshwater aquaculture in India. Late 1950s, the breakthrough followed. Alikunhi, along with Hiralal Chaudhuri, achieved the induced breeding for the first time in India. The success achieved in induced breeding and published in Current Science in 1958 paved the way for a revolution in carp production in the country, in what is termed as aquaculture. The technique described by Chaudhuri and Alikunhi is being practiced by every fish farmer in India and Southeast Asia. As Director of Central Institute of Fisheries Education, he played an important role in the current permanent location at Warsaw. Established training subcenters for freshwater and brackish water aquaculture and equipping the institute as one of the foremost fisheries education institutions in the region with FAO UNDP assistance. His contribution in prawn culture is there is no words for me to explain, because I am a part of it and I see how this worked in the country. Dr. Alikunhi set up and operated the first commercial penned shrimp hatchery for the tiger shrimp, Penaeus monodon, and the Indian white shrimp, Penaeus indicus at Alinkunhi, Kerala in 78-79. Again, for the first time, he demonstrated large-scale rearing of freshwater giant prawn Macrobrachy rosenbergi to juvenile stage at Alinkunhi. Recognitions include Chandrakala Hora Memorial Gold Medal of the International Science Academy, New Delhi, then Sundarlal Hora Gold Medal of the Ethological Society of India, Madras. See, I am very fortunate enough to work under such a legend in aquaculture, and we will see the advice received from that legend is even now in my mind, and later I extended all those advices to my subordinates and they are all working in better places. And Kerala is now going ahead in aquaculture because I was part of it for 30 years, and I know what are the works going on in Kerala. Especially in Kerala, the production centers, the seed production centers in Kerala are producing tremendous seeds and are supplying to different parts of the country, including West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. And once we were taking seeds from West Bengal to Kerala, and I also traveled to West Bengal to get these seeds to bring to Kerala. And now we are very fortunate in supplying to those centers. While I was in service, I extended the technology developed by the Kerala government to Madhya Pradesh and the UP governments, and they are all working very fine in those states, and the feedbacks are coming in. I am very fortunate. I must thank the organizers of this association for giving me a chance to speak in this occasion and to remember about one of my mentors, Dr. Alinkunhi, and thanking you all and wishing you a good evening.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now I welcome Mr. Abhirami, Vice President, Joint Secretary of AFG, to introduce next session. Abhirami, please.
Thank you. Hiralal Chaudhuri, the father of induced breeding in carps. He was fishery scientist who contributed to the fisheries sector in induced breeding of carps. The Blue Revolution in India was developed on the basis of seed production technology through hypophysation, and later he led the way in intensive mixed farming to increase production in ponds. Dr. Chaudhuri served in Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, Barakpur, and Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Bhubaneswar, and also held the post of director at Fishery. In 1958, he succeeded in hybridizing major and minor carp varieties, leading to the production of 12 new hybrid carp species. Government of India has declared July 10th as National Fish Farmers Day in 2001 to honor Professor Chaudhuri's role for development of Indian fisheries. I now welcome our next speaker, Mr. Subrato Ghosh, to the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Abhirami madam, and I would like to request Hari Pravit sir to kindly operate my slides, my presentation slides, please. Thank you very much. And first of all, I must remain grateful to Dr. Hari Pravit sir, Riyaz sir, and the whole team of Association of Fisheries Graduates Kerala, who have given me an opportunity to speak in this platform in the midst of eminent luminaries and scientists in fisheries and aquaculture in India. And as I have been told to begin my presentation from 7:45 p.m., so I think I have got some more time. So I will not speak anything unappropriate, but I will just focus on the techniques of induced breeding in very short. So I think it will be a recapitulation for BFSC and MFSC students. I think that they will not dislike my presentation. It will be some sort of recapitulation for them. And I was listening to Dr. Sobhana Kumar sir's presentation about the punctuality and the wholehearted efforts and the dedication which Dr. Alinkunhi took and who led from the front. And I also, when I was working at Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Bhubaneswar, a senior research fellow, about 14 years back, I also heard from Dr. VRP Sinha sir's talk that he used to, wearing a short pant and an ordinary shirt, he used to move into the pond, and he used to lead from the front and showed his associates about the preparing the I mean, what I should call the manure, the fertilizer. I mean, a mix for the nursery pond management. We need this cow dung. We need raw cow dung. We need this ground oil cake. We need this single spore phosphate. So all these things he used to demonstrate in his own hands. A mixture of single super phosphate and raw cow dung and groundnut oil cake. And I was fortunate to work at St. Lister Freshwater Aquaculture, and I heard also many good things about Dr. K. Alikunhi. But today I would like to speak about Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir. And basically, I am an ordinary state government employee in West Bengal Fisheries Department. I am a grassroots level extension worker, basically. And as I was mentioning, I'm grateful to Association Fisheries graduates who have given me this opportunity. My topic is my presentation, eminent Indian fisheries and aquaculture scientist like Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri. Next one, please, Dr. Pravid. So last year I had an opportunity to next one, please. Last year, I had an opportunity to participate in this online program on the occasion of World Fisheries Day on 21st November 2020. And there I was a participant, and this year I feel privileged, and it is my pride that I am the speaker of this program, which has been organized just in next year, I mean in this year. And I was provided this certificate last year from Association Fisheries graduates. And next one, please. So going through in brief about the components of freshwater aquaculture, about the conventional components of freshwater aquaculture in rural India. First, I would like to know, is my voice clear? Am I audible clearly? Hari Pravit sir?
Yes, clear.
Clear, thank you very much. So the conventional components, as we know that in West Bengal and as well as in Odisha, Bihar, Tripura, Assam, in eastern states particularly, as well as in other parts of India, in composite fish culture system, we gain a production of about 4 tons from 1 hectare, I mean from 10,000 square meter water body per year. And Dr. Sobhana Kumar sir was speaking about the Scampi, I mean the giant prawn hatchery technology, and this growth monoculture of this Scampi, I mean the Macrovitum rosenberg is followed in West Bengal, from where in one crop in about 5 months, we get a production of 1.2 tons, that is 1200 kg, from about 10,000 square meter water body, that is 1 hectare water body. This air-breathing catfish Clearus bactrachus, it can be practiced in semi-derelicte ponds, as we know, and in one crop of about 5 to 6 months, we get a production of about 4 tons from per 10,000 square meter water body. Raising of major carp spawn till fry stage in nursery pond and fry to fingerling stage in rearing pond, it is also an avenue. It is also an avenue of commercial aquaculture in West Bengal. And integrated fish farming with components using this poultry litter, the duck droppings, as well as we use, as well as this horticulture and vegetable crops are cultivated along with fish ponds. I mean on the embankment. These are grown. And these are grown avenue. It's a winter months. We know that we can this Cyprinus carpio, Hortominis, Vernudus, Verspecular, the 3 varieties: the leather carp, mirror carp, and scale carp. As we know, these gain maturity. These attain maturity also in winter months, as we know. So in the happa systems, I mean happa systems fitted in pond, we can do seed production, breeding and seed production of Cyprinus carpio, Hortominis in winter months. And the last one is many self-help groups, women-led self-help groups in West Bengal are practicing this breeding and larval rearing as well as propagation of the ornamental fishes, the aquarium fishes. Some of these two are very important facts as BFSC students and MFSC students. They you all know there's ovulation and spermation. As we know that as the oocytes gain maturity, these towards the stage 6 and stage 7 stage, the ovarian follicles get ruptured and get dissolved, and the matured ova, they're liberated from the ovarian wall and it comes into the ovarian lumen that's in the oviduct. So, and in this stage, we call this phenomenon is in very short, it's called ovulation. And spermation is also known the matured spermatocysts. Matured spermatocytes when it comes into the sperm duct in male fishes, in testis. So, and cause mating and subsequently spawning in captive control condition in Happa enclosures as well as in Chinese hatchery. And this stimulates family release of gametes, as we know, from male and female fishes. Now, this industry technology is insufficient production of good quality fish, technical or economically important cultivable fishes, which is a basic requisite for successful fish farming, as we all know. And this technique has undoubtedly brought a huge progress in major culture and increased fish production in our country. Next one, please. Now, we fondly remember this person who is in front of us, late Professor Hiralal Chaudhuri, who was born 100 years back, I mean in the year 1921, on 21st day of November, and who died on 12th of September 2014. So this year we are celebrating the birth centenary year of Hiralal Chaudhuri. And in very short, I must mention here that next year, I mean in 2022, we will be celebrating the birth centenary of another Nobel laureate, Indian-born molecular biologist who is Professor Hargobind Khorana. And MFSC students and BFSC students, you must be knowing, you will be taught and you will learn the technique of what we call the central dogma molecular biology, and you will know more about the contributions of Professor Hargobind Khorana. And next one, please. Professor Hiralal Chaudhuri, renowned scientist of India. Now, just successively, if we go through the achievements, in the year 1955, what happened during the monsoon season? The use of pituitary extract. I mean, the homoplastic pituitary extract of ripe katla, which is an Indian major carp. It was used to successfully breed the minnow carp. It's a minnow. It is not an economically important fish, but still, in terms of biodiversity values, this Esomos dendricus is important. And this Esomos dendricus could be bred successfully using homoplastic pituitary extract of katla in captive conditions, I mean in control conditions. The next year, in 1956, use of pituitary extract of Serenus reba. Now, Serenus reba, MFSC students, you must be knowing, the Serenus reba is very similar in its morphology with this labiobata, but Serenus reba is having a hexagonal types of scales. The scales of Serenus reba are quite hexagonal in structure, and its lateral line is quite blackish. And in adult conditions, it attains a larger size than labiobata. Now, use of Serenus pituitary extract of Serenus reba was used to breed another less economically important fish. In Bengali, we call it tin kata, and in the scientific name of this species, Pseudotropicus athrenoides. I will show the photo in my next slide. It is a less small and less economically important freshwater fish, which is abundant in village ponds of West Bengal. Now, in the next year, on 10th July 1957, this Indian-made minor carp Serenus reba could be bred in aquarium conditions as well as in Happa cloth enclosures fitted in pond using carp pituitary extract. I mean homoplastic pituitary extract. And this is the momentous discovery, what we call. And this we fondly remembered the contributions, the discovery of both Dr. Which could be done by Dr. K.H. Alikunhi and which could be done by Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, and Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri was working at that time under the supervision of Dr. K.H. Alikunhi at Katak Kila Farm, which was the pond culture division of Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute at that time. This Red Letter Day, we called 10th July 1957 as Red Letter Day, and my previous speaker, Dr. Sobhana Kumar, was speaking about the aquaplosion. This achievement, this discovery was published in Current Science, and this 10th July 1957 is presently observed every year as National Fish Farmers Day, as all of us know. Now, after 10th July, within next 15 days, on 25th of July 1957, in the same month, in same year, the Pontius Sarana, Labio Rohita, and Serenus Mrigala, these three carps could be bred in captivity after 15 days of the success achieved with Serenus reba. Now, in the year 1962, the three exotic carps, this silver carp, grass carp, and Sapinus carpifer communis, I mean common carp, these three exotic carps could be bred, and seed could be produced in confined systems and in controlled conditions in 1962 using carp pituitary extract. Next one, please. And in this platform, I must mention that in the year 1956, another achievement which was accomplished by Dr. V.S. Ramaswamy and Dr. L.I. Sundararaj at Department of Zoology, Bangalore University. I mean to say, Dr. L.S. Ramaswamy and Dr. V.I. Sundararaj in the year 1956, in aquarium conditions, they could achieve success in breeding Clarias batrachus. And the nomenclature has been changed. The name has been changed to Clarias magur. This Clarias magur, this catfish, economically important catfish, could be bred under aquarium conditions by Dr. V.S. Ramaswamy and Dr. L.I. Sundararaj. Dr. L.I. Sundararaj was PhD supervisor of Dr. Ramaswamy at Department of Zoology, Bangalore University. So this is the Esomos dandricus, as I was talking about. This is a very small fish, as I have taken the photograph. And below the next picture, as we find, it is the photo of Pseudotropicus atherinoides. It is also a less economically important fish, but it's found quite abundantly in West Bengal in village ponds. Now, the importance of application of this induced breeding technique. This is also a recapitulation. This will also be a recapitulation for the BFSC as well as MFSC students, so who are participating in this webinar. Now, importance, as we know that this technique, it has great commercial application, particularly in West Bengal, because West Bengal holds the distinction of achieving the first position in our country in fish seed production. As we know, West Bengal achieved the distinction. It has achieved the second position in table-sized fish production, and it has achieved the first position in fish seed production. I mean, in hatchery conditions of economically important fishes, with particular reference to major carps. Now, this induced breeding technique, it gives pure and healthy spawn, 78 mm, and further fry of fishes under cultivation, which are economically important fishes, and which can be cultivated, which can be farmed. Now, seeds collected from the natural wetland or riverine sources. I have learned from one reminiscence book that Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, in his early years when he was junior research assistant at Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, way back in 1951, 1952, 1953, in those years, he used to stand on the bank of river Bhagirathi in West Bengal, near Azimganj, near Nimtita, in Murshidabad district, near Farakka, and he used to see that the field workers are collecting seeds. I mean, the fry stages of economically important fishes from rivers as well as from wetlands. But those seeds were a mixture of both economically important fishes as well as non-economically important fishes. That is the wild fish species. So, and sorting of this unmixed seed was quite impossible, as we understand. Now, this induced breeding technique, it assures timely availability of unmixed seed of pure variety, whether it is Rebio rohita or Sirius nigella or Katla, of only the desirable fish in desirable quantity in the fish breeding season. Whereas in nature, availability of seed is uncertain and unreliable, as we all know. Now, in West Bengal, there are presently 6 state government hatcheries, carp hatcheries, and 454 West Bengal state government accredited private carp hatcheries. And the total production of fish seed was, in the year 2006-2007, the total production of fish seed, the fry stage, the 1 inch, the 25 millimeter stage, was 13800 million in 2006-2007 in West Bengal, whereas it has increased to 22891 million in the year 2018-2019. And as I was mentioning, that this state holds the first position in fish seed production in India, and seeds are supplied to neighboring states and far away states, which is having a good demand. So this is the picture as we find here. The technique of induced breeding, the pituitary extract is being injected into a mature brooder, and in the caudal peduncle region just above the lateral line, as we all know. Next one, please. Next one, please, Dr. Pravit. This is another picture of what we call this induced breeding, the administration of injection. As we all know, BFSC students and MFSC students, you must be knowing, as we all know that the males, the Indian the major carps, the males require single injection, but the females require 2 dosage of injections. If pituitary extract is being applied, but if we apply the synthetic hormones, that is overprime, overtide, a single injection can be applied to male as well as a single dosage can be applied to females also. Next one, please. Now, this is the technique of induced breeding. I mean, the injection, the pituitary extract, the pituitary extract which contains this follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, the gonadotropin hormone, GTH, as we all know. Now, it is administered to Pangasianodon hypothalamus. Now, this Pangasius catfish, Pangasianodon hypothalamus, this fish can be bred in confined systems, and this is a very economically important fish. Presently, it has achieved the status of a commercially important fish in West Bengal. And these seeds, the fry stage, the 1 inch to 3 centimeter stage, the fry stages are transported to different states from West Bengal, particularly from North and South Info Parganas districts. The induced bred seeds are packed in oxygenated containers and are transported to different states in West Bengal by air and also by rail route. Next one, please. This is the Syrinus reba, and as we find here, because this is a mature Syrinus reba is about 200 to 250 grams in weight. The brooder, the female as well as male. So this insulin syringe is being applied here for administrating the pituitary extract. An insulin syringe is being applied, and another thing we find here is instead of intramuscular injection, here we find intraperitoneal injection at the base of pectoral fin. At the base of pectoral fin, the intraperitoneal injection is being applied to Syrinus reba. Next one, please. Dr. Haripraved, sir, next one, please. This is, I have taken this photograph, Dr. Uttam Kumar Sarkar, who is presently principal scientist at Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, Barakpur, but he was previously principal scientist at National Bureau of Fish Genetic Resource, Lucknow, in the fish breeding division, in fish biology division. Now, here we find this technique, the brooders of, in district Murshidabad near Farakka, the 4 kg, the 5 kg size, male and female of this Notopterus chitala. The name has been changed to chitala. This Indian featherback, what we call the Indian featherback. Now, this chitala can be bred, can be induced bred. This can be induced bred successfully in hatchery conditions in West Bengal. This is the picture of administration of pituitary extract to a mature chitala. Now, as I was mentioning that, next one, please. Next one. The 10th of July 1957. In order to bring into remembrance the momentous discovery, the achievement, the remarkable achievement, the remarkable achievement of both Dr. K.H. Alikunhi and Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, sir, which was achieved on the 10th of July 1957, which is called the Red Letter Day. So, in different fisheries research institutes, in different ICL laboratories, in different fisheries colleges, in state government departments, this National Fish Farmers Day is celebrated every year on the 10th of July. And we fondly remember the contributions of Dr. K.H. Alikunhi and Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, sir. Here I find Dr. P. Jayashankar, sir, who was previously director of, just previous one, please. Dr. Here we find that Dr. P. Jayashankar, who was previously director of Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Bhubaneswar, and on the left side of Dr. P. Jayashankar, we find Dr. Dilip Kumar, who is also an eminent fisheries scientist and who was previously director of Central Institute of Fisheries Education, Mumbai. Now, here we find National Fish Farmers Day is being celebrated at Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Bhubaneswar. MFSC students and BFSC students, you can have an excursion, you can have an educational tour to this farm, to this laboratory as well as fish farm, which is the Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture. It is the largest fish farm in Asia, which is having about 478 fish ponds. I repeat, 478 fish ponds, which is having a total area of 145 hectares. So, students, you can have an educational tour to this Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture. Next one, please. So now I will go through some of the the momentous contributions, the memorable contributions of Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri. But when he joined as junior research assistant at the Central Institute of Fisheries, Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, just after independence. I mean, that is in the year 1948. At that time, in one of his excerpts, I have read that he was mentioning that Fishery at that time had primitive facility without electricity, instruments, even drinking water was difficult to get. So, in comparison to present conditions, we can imagine the hardships which Dr. K. Alinkunhi, Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, Dr. Vijay Jingran, Dr. V.R.P. Sinha, and many other stalwarts of Indian fisheries and aquaculture who have paved the way, as Dr. Hari Pravit sir was mentioning, that we need to remember the persons who paved the way for us. So, Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir was mentioning that Fishery at the time has been without electricity and under dim light of a hurricane lantern, they used to work. Even drinking water was difficult to get. And Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, in one of his articles, which I read in a book published in the name Reminiscence by in the year 2007, which was published by Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute, Directorate. Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, in his article, he has written, "Throughout the night under the dim yellow light of a hurricane lantern, I sat watching the transformation of developing fertilized eggs of a small gobiid fish, which is Gobiopterus chuno, which is now under curiosity." Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, in the early 50s, he was watching under magnification in a collecting which bred in natural systems. This Gobiopterus chuno, a small fish. This Gobiopterus chuno. Now he could collect some of the fertilized eggs of this Gobiopterus chuno, and he was observing the developing fertilized egg. I mean the embryonic developmental stages with advancement of time. The fertilized egg as well as the just hatched out larvae. I mean the organ differentiation he was working. I mean he was observing in a petri dish through simple microscope and drew sketches of the developing stage of the embryo periodically. Now we can understand how great enthusiasm Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri had in those days. In almost 2 days, I mean in almost 48 hours, Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri was mentioning, eggs started hatching. I mean that is the incubation period for this Gobiopterus chuno, and larvae began to come out. I was excited as the process of new life had begun. Now this was a remarkable study, as Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir was mentioning. Now, in 2007 July, Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri was mentioning in one of his articles, in another article, I had a passion about fishery science and pisciculture. I had always been averse to name, fame, and public appreciation for whatever I could achieve little in my scientific endeavors. And from this statement, we can understand how humble Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri was, and he has mentioned that he did not want to get any kind of appreciation or fame for his achievements. Now, going through the life sketch of Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, he was born on the day 21st November. As I had mentioned earlier, in 1921. He joined Morali Chand College in Bangladesh in Sylhet district as lecturer in zoology department in the year 1943. He got MSc in zoology from Sylhet University, Bangladesh in 1944. He joined the ICS Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute as junior research assistant, I had mentioned earlier, during 1948, and he worked as junior research assistant in 1950. He worked as senior research assistant in the same institute for 5 years during 1950 to 1955. He worked as Fishery Extension Officer, the post which I am holding presently in State Government Department, West Bengal. And at that time, he was working at ICF Fishery in the same institute, and he worked for 1 year only in the post of Fishery Extension Officer till 1960. He achieved the position of in charge fish breeding, ICR Central Inland Fishery Research Institute at Katakila Fish Farm and Anugul Fish Farm, which is at Anugul district in Odisha. It was for 3 years. He achieved the position of officer in charge, Katak Research Station of ICR Sifri in 1964, which is presently ICR Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Bhubaneswar. He achieved the position of senior scientist and officer in charge, Katak Research Station of ICR Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute and head of Fish Culture Division Sifri during 1971 to 1975. And he was directly in charge officiating of the same institute, of this mother institute, what we call Barakpur. He was directly in charge of this institute in 1975. Next slide, please. He was Deputy Director of Aquaculture Advisor, and Regional Coordinator of Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations Development Program at Bangladesh, Malaysia. It was during 1976 to 1979, and at that time he had left his assignments in ICR Sifri. He had opted for international assignments at FAO UNDP. During 1979 to 1984, for 5 years, he worked as Chief Technical Advisor and Coordinator of Aquaculture Development, Lao PDR, under FAO UNDP. He was Senior Technical Advisor at SIFDEC, Southeast Asian Fisheries Development Center at Philippines, and it was for 3 years, up to 1988. During 1988 to 1993, for about 5 years, he was visiting professor of Fisheries and Aquaculture, Institute of Biological Sciences at University of Philippines at Las Banos. He was recipient of World Aquaculture Award from University of California, United States of America in 1994. Now, before joining ICR Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute in 1948, after coming to West Bengal from Bangladesh, he had worked as research assistant at Indian Veterinary Research Institute at Bareilly, Uttar Pradesh. And in the year 1954, he was deputed to Auburn University, USA for a training in fish endocrinology for 1.5 years, I think for about 2 years, from where he achieved his second Master of Science degree. In 1954. He was awarded PhD in Zoology in 1961 from Department of Zoology, University of Calcutta. The ICAR, Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Central Institute of Fisheries Education, ICRCP, Central Institute of Fisheries Education, has awarded Doctor of Science degree to Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir in the year 2010. In the year 2002, he was awarded Gold Medal of Asiatic Society, Kolkata. He was awarded Chandrakola Hora Gold Medal in India in 1962. And as an additional duty, he served as Fisheries Advisor to Fisheries and Food and Agricultural Organizations of the United Nations Development Program at Burma during 1967 till 1976. Next one, please. Now here we find a photograph which I took, and here I find the initial years when Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri was working in his initial years at ICR Sifri, Barakpur. He was working at Prawn Culture divisions at Katakila Farm as well as at Anugul Fish Farm. And here we find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri is preparing pituitary extract. He is homogenizing the pituitary glands in distilled water. Next one, please. Here we find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri is injecting, and he is helped by his associates. And I must mention here one thing, that Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir has left this mortal world. He died in the year 2014. About 7 years back. Now, Dr. Raimilan Bhomik, Dr. R.M. Bhomik is presently alive, who is about 94 years in age presently. And Dr. Raimilan Bhomik, Dr. R.M. Bhomik, who has his residence at Salt Lake, he worked at Katakila Farm, and he was He's a living legend, and he has worked along with Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir at Katakila Farm. Here I find about 5 colleagues of Hiralal Chaudhuri sir is helping Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir in experiments in induced breeding of Indian major carps. Next one, please. Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, here we find that in one enamel tray, wearing a simple short pant and white shirt, he is observing the fertilized, the water hardened fertilized eggs of Indian major carps, which has been obtained via induced breeding technique. And as we all know that the D85 model, the Chinese hatchery system was established after 1985. Which was a discovery of Sri Narayan Dwivedi, Dr. Sri S.N. Dwivedi, who was formerly director of Central Institute of Fisheries Education, the longest serving director of CIFE Mumbai. Under the name of CIFE, Dr. S.N. Dwivedi, the D85 model, the Chinese hatchery model, was established, and it was operated after 1985. Now, before that, in the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, this induced breeding was conducted mostly in hapa cloth enclosures, fitted in pond systems. Now here we find that Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir is observing the fertilized eggs of major carps produced in hapa cloth enclosures in shallow pond. Next one, please. Here we find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir in the extreme left of our picture, and along with his associates, they are all either what we call these junior research assistants and senior research assistants in the early 50s. In the decade in 1950s. From your end, kindly, Dr. Hari Pravit sir, if you. The previous one. The next one, please. Next one, please. Next one, please. Next one, please. Thank you very much, Dr. Hari Pravit sir, for your patience and for taking this trouble. Thank you very much. And here we find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir is observing the structure of major carp larvae growing into spawn stage under simple field microscope under open sky. Here we find he's observing the developing embryo within fertilized egg. And he's also, in one of his articles I have also read, that made close observations on the developing hatchling stages of hatchlings and the developing larval stages with advancement of time. The organ differentiation particularly. Next one, please. Next one, please, Dr.
So, sir, there is some technical issue during presentation. We will resolve it. Please give me 1 or 2 minutes.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. In the meantime, I just want to hear from participants. How are you feeling? How was my presentation? Till now. Could I convey any good information to you, or some basic knowledge on this induced breeding, or the contributions of Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir? Participants, if any of you can respond. From the end of participants. Achha. The previous one. The next one, please. You can keep it in this manner. You can keep it in this manner, and slide number 24, if you can kindly click. you very much. Now, this is the picture of Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir during his later years. And this is the time we can think when he left ICAR and when he left India also to join FAO UNDP. That is about in the year, like this photograph of Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri has been taken, I think it is about in the year 1975 or 1976. Next one, please. Now, this is the Sedinus reba, which the fish which I was talking about. This now induced breeding, the seed production. I mean, ovulation, spermiation, spawning. As we all know, the release of gametes from fish body into the surrounding water. This is what we call spawning, and this results in fertilization. Now, all this spawning for this fish, for this Sedinus reba, on the 10th of July 1957, in confined system in controlled conditions. With use of this, but with administration of this, what we call the fish pituitary extract. Now, this Hiralal reba, I have taken this photograph, and this has brought success to Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir on the 10th of July 1957. Participants, I will not take much time. If any MFSC student or BFSC student can pose any question or chat box, or if you can express your opinion about how was my presentation till now in the last about half an hour or so. MFSC student of QFOS or other fisheries college or
can I interfere, sir? I had to sir, for your kind of information, this is a group of students, not only BFSC or MFSC students. Here in Kerala, the fisheries, there are a lot of colleges providing fisheries courses and such as UG and PG program, other than MFC and BFSC. And okay, and most of the students are from that sector. And students, not only students, there are scholars, teachers in our platform.
Yes,
and
yes,
in other states of India, different from other states of India. In Kerala, most of the universities, such as Kerala University, Calcutta University, provide fisheries courses other than MFC and MBFC course offered by Agriculture University. That is only for your kind of information for repeating MFC and
thank you very much.
Okay, your presentations are very good and very informative, and we will resolve this problem soon. Some technical, maybe a network issue, we will resolve it. Okay.
So, as I have been informed by Dr. Hari Pravit sir, so PhD research scholars, researchers, presentation as well as from my presentation, you can get a basic background of the achievements of the contributions of these two legends in Indian fisheries and aquaculture, Dr. K. Alinkunhi and Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir. I will not take much time. Within 10 minutes or so, I will finish, and Dr. Hari Pravit sir is taking the pain of solving the issues, which network issues, I think, from here, which has occurred from his end temporarily. So I think it will be resolved very shortly. I have about 6 to 7 slides more, and I will not take much time. It is already 8:15 p.m. So within next 15 minutes or so, I will. can find here Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir sitting in the second row. I mean, in the second row, on the extreme right hand side, we find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir in black spectacles. This picture has been taken in the year 1995 in one Krishi Vigyan Kendra at district South 24 Parganas in West Bengal. And on the right hand side of Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, we find Dr. Samit Banerjee, who was formerly Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, Hiralal Chaudhuri professor, the first Hiralal Chaudhuri professor in zoology, University of Calcutta, who died in 2017, 4 years back. Next one, please. Slide number 27, please.
Subradu Ghosh, sir, sorry for ignorance. There is some network issue here. We cannot able to resolve. Maybe.
Maybe Dr. Rias or Dr. If any other person can try from his end, if possible. Next one, please. Here we find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir is wearing a yellow-colored T-shirt, yellow-color T-shirt, and Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, here we find in Fish Farmers Day program at ICAR Central Institute of Fisheries Education. What I find is the number of participants it is decreasing, maybe due to network issues. I will request the participants to kindly stay for online for the next 10 minutes or so. I will not take much time. Please stay online, and I think this may be interesting to you, these pictures, and I will not take much time also. So Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, here I find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir is being given the DSC award ceremony from ICAR Central Institute of Fisheries Education. Dr. Dilip Kumar, who is formerly director of Central Institute of Fisheries Education, Mumbai, and here we find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir sitting in second from right. And this picture was taken when he was awarded the DSc degree by ICSCIP on 20th of February 2010. That is 11 years ago. Next one, please. Here we find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir is giving a talk in one of his plenary lectures. He was invited at Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute. It is, I think, in the year 2008 or 2009, from where Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir started his career, his professional career. And here we find giving a talk, a presentation. Here we find Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir among the midst of luminaries in Indian fisheries and aquaculture. We find Dr. P.V. Dehadrai, who has died, who was formerly Deputy Director General of ICAR Fisheries Division. Formerly, please, Dr. Praved, please, previous one, please. I will not take much time, Dr. Praved. Here we take, next one, please, next one. Next one, please. Next one, please. Next one, please. Next one, please. Hari Pravit sir, if you can kindly respond, how much time will I get from now onwards? Whether it is 5 minutes or 10 minutes?
It is actually now slides are not handled by me.
Oh, sorry.
It is handled by Mr. Munir. some technical issues, some network issues. Here are some rainy conditions, so that here I think so. That is why slides are moving next and next. So some lag in the network. That's why. Please cooperate with us. Okay.
Participants in Google Meet platform, I find total number is 34. Kindly stay with me for the next. I will not take much time. It is more, maybe about a maximum of 5 to 6 minutes. The soap oil emulsion technology, which is also an achievement of the Hiralal Chaudhuri sir. And in the previous slide, I had shown a garlanded picture of Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, who has left this mortal world, but we will remember his contributions forever and the path which he had paved in development, in the prosperity of Indian fisheries and aquaculture. And prior to that, in the slide, I had mentioned about students who are in Google Meet platform as well as in YouTube platform. You may not see these pictures. I am not expressing pride. I am not expressing pride. But I must mention here that you will not find these pictures in books also, in textbooks also. I have taken these pictures where I have scanned and I have worked hard to present these pictures in front of you. I'm an ordinary government employee, but I will be happy if I can platform. I am grateful to you that 35% are still there. Kindly bear with me for the next 5 minutes or so. So, and in the slide previous to that, I had shown an ideal platform. Many of the luminaries, Dr. P.V. Dehadrai, Dr. Amalesh Chaudhuri, who has left this mortal world, but we had also find Dr. V.V. Sugunan, Dr. K.K. Bhas, who was with Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir. Their happy face, I mean, their smiling face, it mentions, it is a sign that Indian fisheries and aquaculture is having its prosperity in days to come. It will prosper in days to come. Now, in soap oil emulsion technology, students of UG and PG in Kerala, from different universities who are participating in this program. This soap oil emulsion technology, you must be knowing that it is an important phenomenon of nursery pond management. I mean pre-stocking pond management. Now, this is an also contribution of Professor Hiralal Chaudhuri sir. We know that in the early stage, that after the commercialization of induced fish breeding technique and seed production technique in the early 1960s, 1961, 62, 64, it was found that the spawn stage when it was stocked in earthen nursery ponds, in experimental ponds, very less survivability could be observed up to the fry stage. Now, it was due to the aquatic insects, which we do not find when we stand on the embankment. These insects remain in a submerged stage in water column. Now, these we generally do not find in the surface of the water, in nursery pond water. So, there are different kinds of aquatic insects we know. Nepa, Ranatra, different species are there. Now, they are the predators and they prey upon, P-R-E-Y, they prey upon the growing spawn in nursery ponds. So these aquatic insects needs to be killed before stocking spawn of Indian major carps in nursery pond. So, as we know that in the nursery pond management, one important step in the pre-stocking, is eradication of aquatic insects. Now, Hiralal Chaudhuri sir had formulated this soap oil emulsion technology to kill the aquatic insects present in nursery pond, which are naturally present in nursery pond. Now, there are two formulae. One is application of kerosene oil and a mixture of kerosene oil and detergent powder. The dosage I am not mentioning here, it will take some time. I will not explain now because it is not the proper platform. So, one of the formulae is kerosene oil and detergent powder, and another formula is cheap vegetable oil, and with this cheap vegetable oil mixed is what we call this bar soap. Bar soap. I mean full intact bar soap. BAR-SOAP, bar soap. It is not detergent powder. It is a solid soap, SOAP. The bar soap is first. It is treated with boiling water. It gets dissolved, and after that, the oil is mixed. So this soap oil emulsion is prepared. Now the soap oil, when after it is prepared in these two formulae, as I mentioned just now, one is kerosene oil and detergent powder, and another is cheap vegetable oil and bar soap. Two separate mixtures. Any one can be used for eradicating aquatic insects. Now, when we apply this soap oil emulsion on the surface of this, what we call the nursery pond water, the atmospheric oxygen, it cannot get dissolved into water column, and due to breathing problems, the aquatic insects die. This soap oil, this emulsion creates a layer upon the nursery pond water. So, in such a manner, the aquatic insects die. So, this is also an important contribution of Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, sir. Now, I am towards the end of my presentation. We pay heartfelt homage to late Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, sir, as well as to other three scientists. One of them are Dr. K.H. Alinkunhi has already mentioned, and another two persons are Dr. G.N. Mitra, who is Dr. Gajendranath Mitra, who was formerly Director of Department of Fisheries, Government of Odisha. At that time, Dr. G.N. Mitra, when he was Director, he had provided farm facilities. I mean, Katakila Farm as well as Anugul Fish Farm facilities to Dr. Alinkunhi, Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri sir, and others. And Dr. G.N. Mitra is also an eminent fishery scientist. He belonged to Odisha. He died in the year 2006. Dr. Gurendra, I have written the wrong spelling here. The correct spelling is Dr. Gajendranath Mitra. He was formerly Director of Odisha Fisheries Department. Dr. Sundarlal Hora, he is an eminent fishery taxonomist. He was the first Director of Zoological Survey of India, as well as he was the first officer in charge of Central Inland Fisheries Research Institute when it was founded in the year 1947. Now, these three people, Dr. Alinkunhi, Dr. Hora, and Dr. G.N. Mitra, they all have influence upon the success and life of Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, sir. The next one, please. Now, I am very much in towards my presentation. Now, I must mention Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, sir. He gave so much importance to the knowledge of farmers, to the indigenous knowledge, what we call the ITK, the indigenous technological knowledge of the farmers. Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, sir, in his time, he used to give so much importance. And we know that presently the name of what we call the Department of Agriculture, of Minister of Agriculture, Government of India, the name has changed from Minister of Agriculture to Minister of Agriculture and Farmers, as all of us know. So presently we are giving much knowledge, we are giving much importance to the knowledge which is possessed by elderly fish farmers. Now, here we find that in this sentence, Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri is mentioning that if one wants to know how to distinguish between the mature male and female of Puntius sarana, it is an economically important medium carp in West Bengal, before administering injection, I mean how to distinguish between the male and the female fish, you have to meet the semi-literate elderly fish farmers who will make you understand it clearly. Perhaps they know more than us. Even Dr. Hiralal Chaudhuri, sir, is mentioning, even being such a great scientist, that he is giving so much importance to the knowledge of elderly and professional and progressive fish farmers, of village fish farmers, that their knowledge needs to be given importance, and that needs to be documented also, their ITK. And next one, please. This is my last presentation. I'm very much grateful, Dr. Hari Pravit sir and Dr. Riaz and Nayana madam, Abhirami madam, and other persons who are in the organizing committee of this Fisheries Week celebration under the platform of the organizing team, Association of Fisheries Graduates Kerala. This is a river ranching program, and I am in this picture, and I am releasing carp fingerlings in one of our rivers in district Dakshin Dinajpur in West Bengal. So the natural repository of fish may be revived. Maybe revived. So thank you very much. Thank to all participants in Google Meet, to all, and I convey my best wishes to all. And thank you very much once again. Thank you very much. I have completed my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Subrato Ghosh sir and Mr. Subrato Ghosh sir, for a nice talk. Here, actually today's participation was very less compared to our previous talks. due to in Kerala, major two networks, Idea and Vodafone, are now down. I think it is about 24 hours. I think it's 24 hours. Okay, down network. So our participation are very much less compared to our previous programs. In most of our programs, not we almost we have 100 to 150 participants. Here we can only see about 50 participants in our program. At the end of the program, we can only 31 participants. Maybe due to
network issues. I understand.
Kerala.
I understand.
Major Vodafone and Idea.
Achha. So if there is
Okay.
any questions,
For your,
if there are any questions from her.
If anyone have any questions? Actually, in conversation, one student asked for your PPT presentation. If you are able to share your PPT, it will be nice. Want to share? Otherwise, no problem.
So what you can do is you can collect the email address of the person, and you can make up my presentation, and then you can send to his email. You can make a PDF of my presentation, huh?
Okay, we will do that. Okay, we will do that. Okay, if anyone have any doubts or questions regarding our two talks, please comment on using comment box or ask directly. Now it is. But I think no other doubts or or something like that. Now I invite Mr. Saurav to deliver a lot of thanks to our speakers. Saurav, please.
Thank you, Hari. Good evening, all. Such a wonderful memorial talks, which helped us to refreshing the memories of our renowned former scientists, Dr. Alikunhi and Dr.